My journey began on the island of Curacao, where I attended CMU University, and let's just say the experience was hands down one of the best experiences that I've ever experienced, and I could even more than I could imagine. Getting to the island is not only a beautiful campus, but the faculty and staff were in such good relation with their students and were experienced faculty, so they were able to really get across the importance of not only being a good student, but a good person as well. We had lots of little clinical, clinics in the public where we actually got to interact with the local on the island of Curacao, and that added a great experience for me as well, because it was a good preview of what was to come. And after completing basic sciences and coming home to Chicago, where I'm from, I began clinicals a bit intimidated and nervous, but with our staff here for CMU, they were able to provide me with an awesome orientation and really get me up to speed, so that my very first day of clinicals, I was confident and a good kind of nervous. From there, the faculty that we have here and our preceptors, they are very experienced doctors who are able to work with students of all kinds. Myself, as a pre-professional and deciding to go back to school later in life, I have no clinical experience, and this was no problem. Starting from day one, I was able to work in my own pace and focus on my weaknesses as a student and as a future physician. With the experiences and their tutelage, I was able to feel very comfortable, not only with patients, but with my abilities. And now I feel very confident that I can take a very good physical and history, and not only that, but also use the software that's required as doctors that you'll see in any office or hospital. Right now, I'm still very appreciative and thankful for CMU to provide me with this experience, and I'm looking forward to the great things to come.
I'm a third-year student at CMU. I just recently transferred in, and I'm loving it so far. I've got to do 2 rotations in family medicine and pediatrics, and I've loved all the opportunities that I've had. I got to give shots and draw blood in peds, and in family medicine, I really got to take patients under my own care, do full exams, and rotate in a hospital and in a clinic. I've loved all the opportunities that I've had. It's great to be a part of patients' lives and really connect with them, and also learn so much at the same time. CMU has been amazing to me since I've transferred in. For my family medicine rotation, I've only had 1 day off on Christmas. And that day at 2 o'clock in the morning, I emailed my dean. He emailed me back in 7 minutes. I answered all my questions, helped me book my rotations. He even emailed me after my first few days to see how my rotations were going. It's amazing to have someone who cares so much about you and how you're doing, to be a part of your medical experience and your schooling and your education. It's really special. I've never had that before, and I'm loving it. It's really a team game here. It's not just an individual. They want you to match. They'll do anything for you. Even my dean would drive me, like he just said, to our exams. He'll tell you how to prepare. He'll do so much for you just to improve yourself and be better. He wants you to succeed, and he'll tell you exactly what to do. He wants you to volunteer. He wants you to experience the city and enjoy yourself, and also learn a lot at the education. I've never had someone so accessible who wants to be there for you. He emailed me even when I started just to ask me how it's going, and they care. I don't know how to say it besides that. They really care about your success, and they care about how you're doing, and they want you to succeed. They're in your corner, and it's a real team.
I'm a Canadian student going to CMU. I started in MD1 down in Curacao with the CMU, and now in Chicago doing my rotations. First thing I noticed about CMU, the class sizes. It was great. They're smaller class sizes, so it's a very intimate relationship with your professors. If you have any questions, they're right there to answer anything for you. They explain everything in great detail so you understand it. You're not just another number getting overlooked. It was a very nice atmosphere down on the island at CMU. Medicine in general can be very overwhelming, especially the processes to apply to rotations and to residency. CMU has been great through the whole process. They really they kind of guide you along the way, make sure you're doing everything right, you're meeting deadlines, and just make sure you're staying on the right path so you can you have the best chances at matching as you possibly can.
I'm a third-year student attending CMU. I had the pleasure to transfer into CMU. After my basic sciences, I did a lot of research with different schools. I found the transition to transferring into CMU to be a very pleasant one. All the faculty members and staff ensured that all my questions were answered and queries were met. When it came to the final three of choosing which school to transfer into, CMU was my top choice. I moved to Chicago for the first time to start my clinical rotations. Being a Canadian, I at first was very uneasy with the move and afraid, but the school made sure to meet my needs and to help me with my transition into the Chicago lifestyle. So far, attending the rotations themselves have been great. I've got to meet with many preceptors and doctors of different backgrounds, allowing me the exposure I need to apply to my future career. As I continued on my journey, I personally related to the role of playing a student doctor. It was exciting, it was unique, and it was great to give students the opportunity to interact with patients and grow from personal experience. Students are given the privilege and the priority to actually perform full examinations and history-taking skills on patients. You're allowed to get familiar with electronic medical record systems, where you are taught to basically use the most recent technology of its kind. I also got to learn how to write proper medical notes and records, prescriptions, so that was nice. One of the unique experiences that I shared from CMU was actually going to a Guatemala medical mission with one of the preceptors from CMU. I got to spend 4 days with basically at an orphanage and a community center. In some cases, the experience was very raw, where I even got to work with patients that were victims of abuse and were pregnant at a very young age. Being part of an experience that was so real with the clinical preceptors of CMU by side was definitely a very rewarding experience, and helped shape me into a better person and hopefully take some experience to my future practice.